This fragrance though? Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This is your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Now, I'm a fan of the House of Amouage. The only problem that I have with the House of Amouage is sometimes it's a hit or miss. There's some fragrances that I just find really challenging and other fragrances that I absolutely fall in love with because Amouage is known for making some exotic, deep, rich, powerhouse fragrances. This fragrance was a complete blind bag. It was sent over to me by Max Aroma. I was like, yo, I've been interested to try this fragrance. Let me check that shit out. And they were awesome enough to send the fragrance to me. Max Aroma is the biggest team in the game. That's my peoples. But I was slightly reluctant on this fragrance because I heard it might be a little bit challenging. And the fragrance is none other than Portrayal Man. Can we talk about the kaleidoscope sexiness that's going on here? Looks like the Christmas wrapping paper that you stuff a bag with that you give to your uncle that you never really talk to. That kind of shit. This is a fucking dope bottle. I got it sprayed on this test strip. And let me tell you, word of advice, the magic that this fragrance produces will not be on a test strip. It must be worn on skin. It must do its magic with your pH. If it doesn't land on your skin, you're just not gonna understand the shit. Because honestly, from the test strip within the first 15 to 20 minutes, it's a slightly challenging fragrance. It does have some reminder or reminiscence of Dior Fahrenheit kind of sort of, because it has that violet leaf petroleum gasoline kind of vibe. Now that may sound off-putting to some people who don't really care for Fahrenheit, but it's not a Fahrenheit clone by any means, because when it starts to wind down, at least on my skin, the magic happens to the 20th power, especially on the full dry down. But to give you an idea, it's a violet leaf kind of gasoline petroleum with hints of citrus, bitter and sweet. I get a little bit more sweet citrusy kind of mandarin orange in the mid and base, kind of just sneaking through but not bright. Parts of it smell a little bit all over the place. They smell kind of confusing and it's like an erratic person trying to make his point. He does have a point, but he's going all over the place to try to make it. And that's what I get from this fragrance. It's kind of like me. I'm all over the fucking place, but y'all who know me know what I'm talking about. This has a little bit of a leathery, violetly, vetiver, citrusy vibe with a freshness. Like if you just poured gasoline on your shirt after having like a gasoline fight with your homeboys, like some shit out of Zoolander, and then you washed it with some dope detergent, but you still couldn't get that smell off, so it has that bright, fresh, clean feeling from the detergent, but you still got that 93 octane all over your tits. You get that kind of vibe, and it's not in a bad way at all. It has this complexity and this powderiness about it that makes you want to keep sniffing it, and you know your boy likes complicated, intriguing fragrances that make me think. It stimulates my nipples. It makes my dick an extra 2.5 inches bigger, giving it a whole 3 inches of mammoth length. This is one of these fragrances that when I sprayed it initially, I got it right out of the wrapper. I was like, let me see what this shit is about. I hope it's a Jubilation 25, spritz. And I was like, I got a violet leaf and I got a little bit of a cumin kind of BO vibe off paper from the jump. And I'm like, oh no, fail. And then I sprayed it on my skin. I was like, all right, let me just rock this shit and see what happens. Bang, I was doing my thing, working, etc., etc. And I found myself subliminally just doing this motion, and smelling the development and checking out the changes and seeing what it does to my skin. And overall, after it started to dry down and mesh with my sexual skin chemistry and it was protruding, all my masculinity and my chesticles was poking out and I was just feeling some type of way. I was like, yo, I fuck with this heavy. I like what this shit is doing. It's not a straightforward fragrance. It's not a, ooh, clubbing. Nah. This is gonna take a certain type of individual to test, not blind buy. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Yeah, Max Aroma's having some kind of discount this weekend or whatever with Amouage, so everything lined up perfectly. But I can't sit here and be like, yeah, you gotta cop this shit because it's fire. It's fire for me. I like it, but it is a challenging fragrance. This isn't one that you could just pick up, spritz, and go, and this is a guaranteed or your money back. Nah. This is something you may want to test, work with, see if it works for you. This is fire. I like this fragrance. I like what it does on the skin. I like what it does dry down. On paper right now, I'm smelling it and shit, and it's really nice on paper, but what it does on my skin, and I know what it's been doing, it's been delicious. bro. And this is definitely a ball sprayer for me. Test before you buy because it might not be your vibe. Our noses may coincide and you might be like, yo, I fuck with Cuba heavy. I'm sure this is gonna be dope and I appreciate you. I love you for that. But this isn't going to be that super mass appealing fragrance that you might think. This is a little bit challenging, but in the best way possible. So this for me is a ball sprayer. To spray my cojones, I go. Yeah, boy. It's like I teabag the gas can right now. Maybe 100 race gas, just teabagging that shit. I think this is a complicated, confused fragrance that I fuck with. I see y'all bitches next time. You let me know what you think of this fragrance. And I love y'all bitches from the heart. See y'all motherfuckers next time. You know who it is the biggest in the game? Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? One of them's gonna pass the test. For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.